What's up guys, Doomwake here, welcome back to another modern video on the channel. As always, before we continue, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. Let me know in the comment section below what you thought of the video. Today we're going to be playing some Izzet Prowess, which was, for my money, the best deck in the format before MH2 entered the fray, so I'm kind of curious as to sort of what happened to it. The only thing that I can really think of is the cards are just becoming a lot more efficient. Like, if you look at the blue-red Dragon's Rage Channeler Ragavan decks, they're just, a lot of what made Prowess so good was the fact that it was the only deck that had this amount of efficiency. But now with the Ragavan decks, playing Channeler Ragavan, they're playing a lot of the same removal spells, Bolt, Unholy Heat, but they also get to play Counterspell, Murktide Regent, stuff like that. So those decks are also hyper efficient. Again, I still think that Prowess is probably a little bit more efficient than those decks in terms of its mana curve and its card efficiency. But maybe the theory is you don't need to be like, if there's two extremes, like two ends of the spectrum, and there's like Prowess and Channeler, maybe you don't need to be on one end of the spectrum because the other end is like close enough to everybody else, if that makes sense. It's the only thing I can really think of, but we're going to see how it does, because this deck actually got 9th place in the most recent Modern Challenge on this past Saturday, so I do kind of want to, I've been thinking about trying Prowess out to see how it, how it's positioning in the metagame, so we're going to go ahead and see how it does. There's not a lot of changes here. I think the only main deck change from the last list I played, which was about a month and a half ago, was we cut the Vapor Snag for a Brazen Borrower. And I guess that's just, sort of a concession to the fact that you just want that slot to be a 2-for-1. Vapor Snag is 1 mana, but it's not as... you don't get as much value out of it as Brazen Borrower, because Brazen Borrower is a 2-for-1 essentially, most of the time. So that's kind of what we're doing here. Again, a lot of straight, nothing really fancy going on here. Channeler, Swift Spear, Soulscar, Stormwing. People have been asking me about Sprite Dragon. I would not recommend playing Sprite Dragon because it just trades down almost all the time because everybody's playing Heat and Bolt. So I would not recommend playing Sprite Dragon. At least with Entity, you get some stuff out on the way out the door, and it's a lot harder to kill with an early Unholy Heat. Like, if you're playing Entity on 2, they might not be able to turn on Heat on turn 2, so you might be able to get some, get them that way. But yeah, nothing fancy. We have 19 lands. I know a lot of people like playing 18. I prefer the 4th Fiery Islet over just a random other spell. And then in the sideboard, we got some Flusterstorms and Spell Pierces for Cascade, another Brazen Borrower for Death Shadow, things like that, Construct tokens. Alpine Moon Cleansing Wildfire is your hate for Urza Saga. A Braid, also pretty good against Saga, comes in against Hammer Time. Kozilek's Return for those pesky protection from red creatures, and 2 copies of Relic for Living End and the food decks. So yeah, not a ton of fancy stuff going on here. I think I'm going to keep it short and sweet with the deck tech there. So, without further ado, let's get into some games. I'll see you back in just a little bit for number 1. Alright everybody, we are here for round number 1. Izzet Prowess, and I think this hand actually might be a mulligan. We have a Channeler, we have 4 lands, no Fiery Outlets, so we're a little bit flooded already. We have, like, only 1 creature, and some Lava Darts. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like this hand. I'm going to ship it. This hand's a little bit better. I think I'm just going to put back the 3rd land, and then just go Channeler into, hopefully Bolt into maybe Iteration. I think I'm down with that. Scalding Tarn. Maybe Blue-Red Murktide. Alright, we got a Channeler. 2nd Bolt's not too bad. Alright, fetch. Stomping Ground. That's not what I expected. I guess Scalding Tarn means a lot of things, but I just kind of assumed Blue-Red Murktide. But definitely not Blue-Red Murktide. Could be the Velomachus deck. No, Scapeshift maybe? Red, blue. So not red and 6, that's good. Fire, ice. Okay. Rhinos. My first two guesses were all wrong. Yeah, this kind of stinks. Land go. I don't really think I want to fire off an iteration just to cantrip. I guess not even cantrip, just cycle it. I guess that's kind of like a cantrip, but... Next turn we could just go Bolt Entity. I don't know if this matchup's good or bad, but I feel like it's probably bad. Ooh, no land. That's good for us. Alright, let's go fetch Tarn, get a mountain. Bolt you, cast Entity. Nice thing about Entity is a lot of their removal spells are 2 damage, like Fire Ice, Bone Crusher, Giant, that kind of stuff. So we're on 3 card types, instant land creature. This is card type number 4. I'm not sure if I want to keep this or not. I guess it's a pretty good card for next turn. Like, yeah, I guess I'll top it. I'm not sure if that's right or not, but... You could argue that it's just that you just want to ship that and try and find like a prowess creature or something like that. Because if that was, let's say, a Swift Spear, I could just go Swift Spear, iteration, find land, bolt you, and it's a lot more damage. But we're at 18 and they haven't cast a Rhinos yet, so like the theory is I should be able to get an attack step in with the Channeler. All right, let's go. So this is tricky because I want to play around Borrower. Sorry about that, I had a sneeze. I want to play around Borrower, so if I go Channeler Bauble and they bounce this in combat, I can't replay it. But I guess I could still just go Channeler Iteration, so... And I want to... The reason I'm casting the Channeler pre-combat is so I can get my Surveil. Maybe the argument is that the Surveil isn't worth playing around, not playing around Brazen Borrower. I guess if I was doing this, I should have just cast the Iteration as well, right? Yeah. Unless I'm trying to bolt them, which I'm not. Maybe, I guess, my thinking was that iteration, if I cast Iteration pre-combat, they 100% Borrower, and maybe if I cast it now, there's a chance they don't? I don't know. That's not really the case, though. Yeah, I don't know what I did here. I kind of just brain farted. Let's go here, here, here. Yeah, that was a bit of a brain fart. I got a Bone Crusher on top. Don't think that's gonna do it. Stomp me? No, now they're casting Petty Theft. Okay. I was kind of sort of surprised they didn't do that in combat, but I guess that makes sense. But they're not drawing a land, so we should be fine. I mean, I guess it kind of worked out, right? If I'd cast the Iteration pre-combat, I'm obviously tapped out and they 100% Borrower. But because I left up 2 mana, they kind of feared, you know, land plus 1 mana spell plus entity against. That's why they didn't do it in combat. So I guess my play kind of worked out, and I think maybe my play was just correct. Now I'm just gonna put the foot on the gas. I'm just gonna bolt them and then play double entity. See if they want to bounce this. Okay. This is why I'm not a huge fan of Endurance. In the Rhino decks. Alright. Yeah, we knew about that. Wanted to get my Surveil, though. Put that into the graveyard. go play this untapped. Play a Stormwing, which they know about. Just looking for spells. Just looking for spells. Not those spells, though. I think I'm going to ship those. Alright. Yeah, I think they missed a few too many land drops this game. Maybe they have an ice to tap one of them. Maybe a borrower. Alright, expressive iteration. That's it, they're done. Alright, game 2. Flusterstorm, Spell Pierce, pretty good against them. Maybe Brazen Borrower, I'm not a fan of anything else. Borrower is Borrower is a maybe. I actually like cutting on Holy Heat. So here's the thing, right? Unholy Heat does kill a Rhino. My problem is you can't. I don't think you can afford to trade your cards like that. You're killing one half of a Rhino. You're dealing with one half of their spell, sometimes 1/3 of their spell if it's a Shardless agent. So I don't think you can afford to do that. Brazen Borrower is different because it's also, you get a body out of it. Now that being said, I still think that I don't want the Borrowers. I just want to be lean and efficient. And I actually kind of like cutting a narration too. So this is how I like to configure my deck. I just want, even keeping Lava Dart, there are some spots where like you attack with a one, maybe like 2 prowess creatures and they block with Rhino and you just get them with Lava Dart, flashback Lava Dart, kill all their Rhinos. So I think I'd prefer Lava Dart to something like Borrower or Heat. Alright, back here for game number 2. We have a 1-drop and an Entity, no Manamorphose. I'm still definitely going to keep this hand. Hopefully we get lucky and peel a Manamorphose, but I think this hand is, for the most part, okay. I don't love that our Swift Spear is likely just going to die. Maybe there's a world where I just don't play Swift Spear on turn 1 to protect it because they just have so many 2-damage spells. Like Fire Ice, Bone Crusher Giant, Dead Gone, that kind of stuff. Some lists are even playing 4 copies of Dead Gone, so they just have, 12 ways to deal 2 damage to a creature. So there is some consideration to holding the Swift Spear until I have a mana up. But that is not the card I wanted to see. No, I'm just going to cast it. They're also on a 5-card hand. Maybe that's not a good reason to cast it, and it probably isn't, but I think that maybe you can afford to do that on the play, but, well, on the play you would just have the mana up, right? You would only put them on exactly Dead Gone. So, when you're on the play, you can play it, and then they play their land. Turn 2, you have mana up, even if they have a Stomp or a Fire Ice, but on the draw, maybe it's a different story. I'm not sure. Alright, well, my creature's not being dealt with, which is pretty good. It's not great. I think I'm just going to attack for 2? No, I probably should fire off a bolt here, actually. Just 1. I think just 1. I want to save the rest of them. I'm waiting till they fetch to bobble them, because they're likely going to fetch a tap lane here. And I wanted to wait to see what they were drawing after they fetched. So if you fetch main phase that you don't get information, yeah, maybe that's just bad because there's a chance they just don't fetch, but there we go. That's why we main phase it. Alright, nothing EOT. Land would be pretty sicko here, because we know they have an Outburst. So they're going to cast Outburst into the Spell Pierce, and then we can go Entity. Okay, never mind. I mean, this is going to suck if they have Force of Negation plus blue card. But I think I have to attack. Now the question is, they didn't cast the Outburst. Do I just go Mutagenic Growth plus Entity? Just let them have 2 4/4s. This is close. So if I go Mutagenic Growth, 1, they take 4, go to 7, and then I play Entity. They end step Outburst. I'm at 18. They attack for 8. I go to 10. Or I could just... It's probably better to just go Lightning Bolt them, put them to 6, and then just hold up Spell Pierce. Yeah, I think that's just better. And then save the Lava Dart / the Mutagenic Growth for next turn with the Entity. I guess this is a lot worse if they have Brazen Borrower. Because then they just bounce the Swift Spear, and I probably can't recast it. Because then if I tap out, they can just slam the Outburst. Tricky spot. Tricky spot. I think I like this play, though. Because the problem with going Mutagenic Growth plus Storming Entity is what if they just have a Brazen Borrower? Like, this line is not as good against Borrower, but at least we don't get blown out and we don't let them resolve Outburst. Alright, damage. So they go to 6. The fact that they tank that long means I definitely don't want to cast Growth because they probably have Borrower. I think that's why there was that very long pause. Because they were really thinking hard about casting Borrower there. So I think that's a pretty good tell that they have Borrower. So something to consider for next turn. Alright, they have a Shardless, which is more Rhinos. They're at 6. 2 cards in hand. So we need a land. We need a land so we can go Dart plus Entity. Although they're still going to have the Borrower next turn. Because again, we kind of assume they have Borrower. Let's see what we draw. So we go land, Lava Dart U, play Entity. 10, block here. Okay. Yeah. Let's go Lava Dart U, play Entity. See what we got. Channeler, Canal, I don't think I want those. I think I just want burn spells. I could attack, but they just double block if I attack, so I don't think attacking is good. Attacking is good if they single block, but I don't think there's a world where they single block. And now we can save the growth if they somehow, like, try to go for, like, double burn spell on the entity. But, again, we kind of assume they have Borrower. However, Borrower might be beatable, because if we draw land, we can go float mana, flashback, dart, play 2 entities, chump block the Shardless after taking 8 this turn. 4, 8, 12 next turn. Yeah, I don't know. Really depends on, well, oh. Okay. No blocks. That's an interesting attack. I wonder what that's about. Because I feel like if they had Borrower, they would have sent both? So here's what I want to do. Okay, yeah, I figured it out. So let's go float mana, flashback dart. And I'm doing this pre-combat because I want to tap. I need all 4 of my mana to be able to play the other entity. And this is the only way that I can present lethal, right? So this is now a lethal attack. They have to interact. And then even if they do, I can then post-combat play the entity again. I think I'm going to keep the dart. Alright, so I will present a lethal attack, which they are obliged to cast Brazen Borrower on. Yep. We knew that was going to happen. Wait. Oh, sure. Same thing, I was going to say. Same thing. Alright, now they're at 4. We can safely take 8. I think they were supposed to attack with both last turn. Put me at 11. Because then their attack next turn is a little bit more likely to be lethal, I think. Just keeping any spell. I don't know. I don't know if they were supposed to attack with both last turn. I feel like they maybe were. It's close, though. Seems like they don't have the goods. I think we are 1-0. Alright, well, opponent gave us the GGs, and yeah, so that matchup was pretty interesting, because they never found the Borrower. But anyways, yeah, I hope you enjoyed the games, and I'll see you back here in just a little bit for round number 2. Alright, everybody, we're here for round number 2 of our league with Prowess. We are on the play, playing against Canister. This a little land heavy, but I tend to keep... I'm going to keep this hand just because we have iteration. I'm not sure what Canister's playing today. I know he's playing a lot of elementals, but I don't know if he is playing that. Alright, Channeler, your turn. What you got? Concealed Courtyard. Ooh, is he playing the black-white Reanimator deck that I played last night? That'd be kind of cool. Alright, Steam Vent's tapped. Hopefully we can iteration into some goodies next turn. He is. Cool, cool. Love to see it. I actually 5-0'd with this deck on stream last night, and I did a video with it a couple days ago. Felt like a pretty sweet deck. We kind of really need to find a removal spell for this. So let's try and do that. Let's graveyard that. I actually want to bobble myself before playing the iteration, I think, because it's just so imperative that I find a removal spell that I'm actually willing to give up the hitting a land drop off of it, because it's too important for me to hit a removal spell for this thing. Yeah, I gotta graveyard that. Alright, we did find removal. And I think the other card I'm going to keep is Manamorphose. Or Bolt. No, let's keep Bolt. So we go heat this. Attack. Don't think I want that. I think for 7 they go to 11. I think this is good. Gave up a little bit of value on the iteration, but it's just, you have to kill the priest. You can't let them untap, because if they just have an unmarked grave or a cookbook, they can discard their creature and then reanimate it. Now, they could still have land, cookbook, and persist, but they have more priests. That is acceptable. So now we can go Channeler, Bolt the Priest, play Entity. Should be pretty good. Turn 11. Yeah, that should be good enough, right? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, exactly lethal. No, because I have to kill this thing. So dart this twice, that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? I'm one short. So dart this thing twice. I guess I could hit another dart off of the channeler. Yeah, so now it's 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I think I'm just going to play Entity. Yeah, they could also just sack the Spell Bomb, right? Yeah, they could just sack Spell Bomb. So. Bottom. I'm actually going to bottom the Heat because he has the Spell Bomb. Because that can turn off Delirium for the Channeler, and also turn off Delirium for the Heat. So now he takes 4, goes to 7. I think we're still okay. Yeah, because it wouldn't have been lethal either way, because even if I could present a lethal attack, he can just crack the Spell Bomb to prevent 2 damage from here. So, wouldn't have been lethal no matter what. Anyways, they're off it. Relic in. It's an interesting matchup. So, again, if for those of you who didn't see, I'll show you the deck list real quick, just so we can get an idea of what we're playing against. It's this. This is the one that I 5-0'd with. So, we got Asmo Package, Urza Sagas, bringing in Portable Holes. Okay, alright. So obviously want Relic, because Relic is good against both plans. Good against the food plan and good against the Reanimator plan. So you could argue Flusterstorm Spell Pierce for Unmarked Grave Persist, that kind of stuff. You could argue Alpine Moon of Braid, because it's good against Urza Saga. Same with Cleansing Wildfire. Like, you could argue a lot of these cards. It's just a question of where do we want to focus our interaction. Because I'm not going to bring in, I'm not going to bring in my whole sideboard. This is tough. This is not an easy matchup to sideboard for. I think Unholy Heat is good because Unholy Heat kills, it's like decent against both plans because it kills Asmo and Archon. I don't know if I want to mess with Spell Pierce and Flusterstorm. I think they're just too narrow. I think this might be a spot where I cut Lava Dart. And maybe just bring in Alpine Moon, because I think it's my most efficient answer to the Saga plan. And then maybe trim an iteration for a second Borrower. Although, even Borrower bouncing an Archon for 2 mana just doesn't seem like that good of an exchange. I can also cut Mutagenic Growth, actually. We don't need that. So what if I did this, and then just had Flusterstorm? Just to be able to at least try and fight over... Yeah, okay, let's try this. At least try and fight over Persist / Unmarked Grave. I don't know if that's good enough, but... I think this seems okay. Okay. I think this hand's fine. Hopefully they go for an Unmarked Grave on turn 2 so I can go Flusterstorm into Metamorphose plus Entity. Because I'm just going to play Foothills on 1 to kind of disguise my hand a little bit. Okay, now I'm probably not going to do that. They played Saga on 1, which does sort of lead me to believe that they probably have Persist plus a Fatty, and they just want to get a cookbook as fast as possible, so we might want to hold up Flusterstorm next turn. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to hold up Flusterstorm. Although if I go fetch Metamorphose Entity, and we have the heat. No, I'm just going to wait. I'm just going to wait. Also, I just realized I probably should have boarded in Spell Pierce and not Flusterstorm, because Spell Pierce hits Portable Hole, Cookbook, that kind of stuff. I didn't think about that. But yeah, I should have boarded in Spell Pierce over Flusterstorm. They would have essentially both been the same thing here, but... Alright, Archon. So they almost certainly have Persist. Three mana Priest. Alright, sure. That is acceptable. So I can just end step kill that. Alright, let's go. Fetch for Steam Vents tapped. Heat this thing. Doing it end step so I can still have Flusterstorm available. So now let's go land, Metamorphose. I don't think that one is really doing much right now because they already been their Saga. So let's just graveyard that. Make blue-red. Play Entity. Bottom that, top that, and then just attack for 1 and pass. So we're on instant, land, enchantment. They're 3 turns away from this, so I think we should be able to race 5 mana priest. The fear is if they have a second priest, because we don't have a removal spell rolled up for it. We do have an answer to persist, but we don't have a removal spell for a second priest right now, so we are a little bit scared of that. Alright, discard Godless Shrine. This appears to be an Asmo. Yeah, that's not great. I mean, at least the good news is they don't have a Daredevil, because that'd be a lot worse for us. They do get to kill the Storming Entity, though. Yeah, it's dead. Although that turns on Channeler, so it's not all bad. 1, 2, 3. Let's play Channeler first. Should probably play this land untapped. Just to make sure I always have Flusterstorm available. Okay, I'll keep that for next turn. Let's make blue-red. Let's go bottom, bottom. Attack for 3. So they go to 14. We still have Flusterstorm up. We have 9 power in the air. I think we're doing okay. They have a cookbook. So I was going to say they could discard both their cards, but... Right. Right. Okay. So... It's not great for us. So there's really no point in casting the Flusterstorm, so I'm just going to let it happen. Sack Channeler, discard Flusterstorm. It's not great. It's not great, because now they also have the priest. That's about as bad as it could have gone for us, too. But yeah, they were smartly playing around Spell Pierce / Flusterstorm. Makes sense. Wow, this is bad. What's my out? My out is like Unholy Heat plus Relic. I really don't even know. Definitely don't think it's another iteration. So I can cast the Relic. Entity goes to 5. That is not good. This is not good. I'm trying to think if I have any outs. Take this, bottom this, exile this. So cast Relic, this goes to 5. They just block here, take 5, and then I lose this next turn. I guess I could cycle this and try and spike exactly the second Unholy Heat. Alright. Good job, Canister, playing around the Spell Pierce. Too smart. Too smart. Alright, well, I think I'm actually going to board these out, given how hard he was playing around them. So I just don't think I want them in my deck. I think I'd rather have other stuff. Like, even one copy of a Braid might be okay. Blowing up a Construct, or potentially a Cookbook. It also kills Asmo. But, like, given how hard he was playing around at that game, I just don't want him in my deck. And just, like, the presence of it being there means he's probably now just going to play around it the whole time. So, when you get into situations like that, you can afford to, like, get some equity by not having them in your deck, but your opponent's still going to play around them. Okay. I'm going to keep this. I'm actually going to lean on Swift Spear. Normally you want to lean on Soul Scar, but because I'm short a land, I want to cycle my Bobble on turn 1 regardless. I want to get my damage out of it. So that's why I'm going to lean on Swift Spear. Alright, Cookbook on top. Portable Hole. Land, please. Land would be nice. Thank you. Just gonna go Soul Scar, Swift Spear. Attack for 1. Still know they have a Cookbook. Alright, they have Saga, just fine. Spell Bomb and another Portable Hole. Okay, that's pretty good. So now the question is, do we want to cast Manamorphose first? Actually, I probably just want to cast Iteration first, right? Yeah. Although I could miss on land here, which I did. Always miss on land, huh? Maybe that was too greedy. Maybe I'm supposed to just cast Alpine Moon. Might have been a little too greedy, because now they're going to get a Saga token. Oh, do they not have a land? Okay, that's good for me. So, got a little greedy, sort of didn't get punished. Because they missed a land. Okay, that's fine. Oh, that's also really good. So now I'm just going to go Alpine Moon Relic, I think. Then we'll go Relic. You exile a card. I cannot have mana up to hold up the Relic, so put them to 10. I mean, they could still just have Archon plus Persist in hand, which would be bad. Okay, they have Priest. So now I think I just want to hold up mana. So why don't we just go Bolt the Priest. I don't want to risk not leaving up Relic. I think it's a little too risky. I guess I'm just gonna play the other Alpine Moon. Is there a reason not to? Oh, I wanted to hold up Relic, right? Yeah, that's the reason. Never mind. Hopefully we draw land, because I want to be able to Manamorphose Entity, but also hold up mana. Persist the Priest. Sure. That's fine. That is acceptable. Alright, land is pretty good. So now we can go Manamorphose, Storming Entity, hold up mana for Relic. Bottom both of those. Relic you. Should be pretty good. Should be pretty good now. So they go to 5. We still have the Relic up. Discarding a Persist. Sure. Is this an Asmore? Okay. So I guess they get to kill the entity. Sure. I think they're worried about Bolt, though. Could sack the Relic in response, but alright, that's fine. I mean, that kind of sucks because now they get to kill the Storming Entity, but question is, do I pop the Relic here to try and find a Bolt for Asmore? Nah, because it's just too bad if they find an Archon. I think I have to wait. They have any cookbooks left? They have 1 cookbook left. I have 2 card types, creature, land. Excuse me, creature, instant. So now I think what I want to do is just play Channeler and pass. They have no cards in their hand, so they theoretically can't turn on Asmore this turn. And then I can maybe bounce it end step, if that makes sense. I don't know. Maybe I should have just cast Borrower that turn. Top. Definitely want to keep that. Alright, I guess they're off it. I don't know if they were dead. No, they were probably dead. Yeah, that match was interesting. I don't know if this matchup's good or bad. I'm a pretty big fan of that deck. Because, again, I played a lot. Played it a little bit on stream last night, 5-0'd with it. Did a YouTube video with it a couple days ago, but yeah, I think there might have been a couple spots where I maybe missequenced a little bit, but overall I think it was pretty good, and now we're 2-0. I'll see you back in just a little bit for number 3. Alrighty, YouTube, round number 3. This hand's pretty good. I think I'm down to keep it. Currently 2-0. Opponent revealed, I think, a Luris? Yeah, Luris. Alright, so Rakdos, I'm definitely going to lead on Lava Dart. Lava Dart while I still can. Anytime you get to Lava Dart a Channeler, while they're tapped out, pretty good before they get value off it. Could be Grixis. Looks like it's probably Grixis. I'm just going to double Channeler. Double Channeler, maybe next turn we can go, you know, removal spell plus entity or something, depending on what they do. Looks like this is getting drowned. Yeah, that's fine. Can't cast that. This one. Iteration. Powerful card. Powerful magic card. Now they're on 4 types, right? Sorcery, instant, land, creature. So Unholy Heat is turned on, which is kind of a beat, because Unholy Heat does kill Storming Entity. Hmm, 3 cards? Yeah, that's fine. It's not fine, but it's gonna have to be fine. Okay. I think I'm gonna save the Lava Dart, because it doesn't make me sack a land this turn, and I can still. Okay, now I can Manamorphose. The question is, do I want to keep the Soul Scar? I don't think so, but I will keep the Manamorphose, which makes it so I don't have to Dart next turn. Just go Manamorphose Entity. Although that is worse if they have Drown in the Lock. Sure. So now they can take heat and maybe drown the entity? Is that what's happening? Heat the entity, sure. And they have 3 cards. Okay. So now we can Manamorphose, blue, red. We need to find an iteration. I don't think Swift Spear is going to do it. I think I need something more impactful than Swift Spear. I think I need an iteration. It's possible I'm supposed to hold that land too. Because if they have Kolaghan's Command, they can draw step, make me discard. Whereas if I hold on to the land, then they can't make me discard iteration of my draw step. Yeah, well, that doesn't help. And now they're just going to Luris me. I think this game is like pretty close to over. This matchup seems really bad from the Izzet side. You just get into these spots where, you know, you trade a bunch of cards, and the problem with the Izzet deck is you're always... They always have this, you know. This is the big issue. Without this card, I think maybe it's a little bit closer, but they're so good at trading resources and being up on cards, and not only... Like, even if you can keep up with them along the way, they eventually get to a spot in the game where they just do this. And they run you out of resources and then Luris you. That's just what their deck does, but... just fundamentally makes it so hard for you to, you know, ever keep up with them. And they're so good at killing your creatures. Yeah, like, I could play this out, but there's just no point. Like, the game's just over. I can't win. Relic is pretty good. And I think that's it. I think Borrower's kind of medium. And I think I'm just going to trim a Dart. I don't really want the counter spells, I don't think. I don't think this is how you're supposed to fight them. Because they also have discard spells, which make your counter spells so much worse. Maybe it's better than Dart, though. This can't be a Lava Dart matchup. I'm going to keep Mutagenic Growth because they do have Lightning Bolt. So maybe, like, 2 Flusterstorms and a Spell Pierce? Yeah, okay, we'll try it. I'll try the counter spells. I'm not sure if they're actually good, but... I'm willing to try it out. But yeah, just fundamentally, this matchup just seems really, really tough for the blue-red deck. Alright, we're on the play for game number 2. I think we just have to keep hands like this. We just have to keep any hand that's sort of functional. I mean, we have 1 land, but we have... we can go Channeler into Bauble to get a surveil and a draw and an extra draw step to try and find land number 2. And again, because of how good their deck is at trading resources, I just don't. Every single mulligan that you take against this deck is just so rough. So I think you have to keep hands like this and just kind of hope they get there. Well, maybe we get to make a good exchange here if they try to heat the channeler. That actually works out for us. You know, we'll take that. Top there. Draw off the bauble. And now we can go fetch for a basic mountain. I think. Yeah, play Swift Spear. Play Soulscar Mage. Attack for 2. This is how you beat them. You just kind of like flood the board a little bit. This is definitely the recipe for success. Alright, let's lead on Manamorphose and see what they do. See if they want to fight over this. Graveyard. Blue-red iteration. They want to fight over this? No. Graveyard, I think. Let's go hand, bottom, exile, cast bauble. Think I'll keep that. And then we'll attack with everything and bolt them. Alright, this is lethal. Oh, they just had nothing. Alright, cool. Well, never mind. Okay, maybe take back everything I said about this. No, I don't. I'm just kidding. Our draw was really good. That's all I'm going to say. Think I like how we sideboarded, so let's just go to game number 3. Let's do that again, shall we? Let's do that again. I don't love this hand, but I think it's keepable. Because we can go Soulscar Mage on 1. Hopefully we can get a good exchange with Pierce on 2, and then we can iteration on 3. But... Alright, Blood Crypt tapped. Leading on Soulscar is better if they have Bolt. But I think for under most circumstances, leading with Channeler is better. If they have, like, Terminate or, I don't know, Heat. Because they usually have more Heats than Bolts, I think. Spire Bluff Canal. That's actually not that bad of a draw. Because now we can just, maybe I was going to do this anyways, but Soulscar plus Hold Up Pierce. Worth noting their Drowns are turned off because we haven't drawn a fetch land yet. So they can't currently cast Drown. I guess they could have Explosives. No Explosives. Question is, so I want to play Iteration. The question is, do we also want to... You know what I could do? I guess I could just Mutagenic Growth and Entity with Pierce up. And just save the iteration for next turn. Let's actually do that, I think. I think I like that better. Let's just attack with both. Do I want to fire this growth off? Feels kind of bad to do so, especially if they have the Drown. But if they have Drown, we can make a really good exchange. Just trying to think of what I want to target. If they have Unholy Heat, what would I rather lose? I think the Dragon's Rage Channeler, so let's do that. This is kind of a pretty big tell that we're trying to cast a Storming Entity here. I think that one's okay. It's worth a good amount of damage. So pass priority. Would you like to take 5? So now they're going to drown. We can pierce that and also play the entity. Alright, they're fetching. Do they have their own counterspell? Flusterstorm, maybe? Okay. Well, that's fine. Our Channeler is down. Question is, do we still want to draw the bauble that's on top? So they take 3, go to 13, we play Entity. 1, 2, 3, 4. The other consideration, yeah, I think it's fine. I think I'll top it. Alright, so damage, they go to 13. Cast this. Flusterstorm, huh? They have 4 cards. This is tough. This is tough. I think I want the Flusterstorm. Just trying to think of where this bauble fits into the mix. Because if I draw the bauble first, then I don't get the Flusterstorm. But I guess I could put the hand... I could put... Well, no, it's better to just put Flusterstorm on top and then iteration into the bauble, right? I think that makes more sense. Let's do it this way. So yeah, we draw Flusterstorm, and then iteration into the bauble with Flusterstorm backup. Yeah, that makes sense to me. So instant, land, sorcery. So not quite 4 types for heat. So they need Bolt. Hopefully they don't find Bolt. Maybe got a little aggressive with the mutagenic growth, but I think I like it. Yeah, they hit the Bolt. That's kind of bad. Yeah, that's not great. Because now we have to hit a land off of the iteration, which we didn't. Another Soul Scar is not too bad. So we can put iteration in hand, bottom bauble, exile Soul Scar. Just do this, which I think makes sense. Then we can maybe try to iteration into entity next turn. Alright, iteration down. And then Snapcaster Bolt. This is getting a little dicey. Don't want to trade. Yeah, I guess I gotta make the trade. Feels bad, but... Guess I gotta make the trade. I mean, we have Kolaghan's Command covered at least. Sort of. Well, they don't have land 5. Yep, that's fine. Is it time to sack the Fiery Islet? No, I don't think so, because we can just draw land 5 and just take 3 for a turn. Although this Flusterstorm is not really doing anything, especially when they know about it. They're just not going to play into it. Yeah, I'll just let it go. I'm still not going to sack the Fiery Island in case I just draw land. Although I think this game is sort of slipping away from us. That's not bad. It's probably one of the better draws in our deck. Alright, they hit Drown. So we'll attack for 2, play a Channeler. Next turn we can sack the Islet to turn on the Channeler. And this game's still kind of... never mind. I was going to say it's kind of close, but they have another iteration, so... Expressive Iteration, good Magic card. These matchups usually just come down to who resolves more of them. I resolved 1, they had a discard spell for the second one, and my opponents resolved 2 of them, so they're up in that regard. which is usually good enough, because that card is really good. Really good magic card. This game was still super close, up until the point where it wasn't. Like, I think I just have no outs now. Alright, let's heat this thing. Graveyard. Oh, well, I guess they go to 3. Okay, maybe I lied. Maybe I guess we still have outs. I guess they just had nothing. I could have sacked main phase to try and hit a growth. It's worse if they have Inquisition, though. But I could have sacked main phase to try and hit a mutagenic growth to kill them. But it's a lot worse if I draw like any burn spell and they have an Inquisition. They're already down 2 Inquisitions, so maybe it was worth it. They're at 3. If I make this attack, and they have a removal spell for this, they just go, kill this, eat this. So I think I'm just going to attack with Channeler. Let's see what they do. They have to do something about it. I assume it's just block. Alright, block happens. They also didn't put Lurrus in their hand, worth noting. Alright, pass turn. Still a super close game. Surprised they didn't put Lurrus. That means, yeah, it has to be Kolaghan's Command, right? No, because I think if it was Kolaghan's Command, they would have done it while I tapped out. Like, I went to draw the card off the Fiery Islet, and I was tapped out, had 1 card in hand with a Swiss Spear, so I think at that point they would have just gone 2 damage to Swiss Spear, make me discard. I'm just taking this. I'm not blocking. I don't think I can afford to block. I'm also not going to fetch, because that puts me to 3, dead to bolt. Need a spell. Snapcaster Mage. Okay, targeting. Targeting Drown in the Lock. So close. So close. So if I attack with both, they chump... No, yeah, they trade with the Swiss Spear. I can't attack with both. But I guess that's better if they have a removal spell, right? Because if I don't attack with the Swiss Spear and they have another 2-mana removal spell on their turn, they just kill this and kill me. Whereas if I force the trade, I'm at least giving myself an out to draw a Lightning Bolt. Does that make sense? So maybe forcing the trade is good, because maybe their hand's just all clogged on 2-mana spells like Drowns and stuff like that. Although if they have Drown, I'm just going to lose because they just counter the Bolt, right? Yeah, so I guess I lose to Drown either way. But, I mean, if I don't attack, I have to block. So I might as well just make this trade now. Because I'm in the same position next turn, right? I'm in the same exact position, whether I attack or not. Oh, they have heat. Okay. So they're choosing to not cast the... Wow, okay. Okay, so I guess we have a draw step? Because they could have just drowned... They could have just drowned the Swiss Spear and killed me. Maybe they just have another drown in their hand. No, I'll be down anyways. It was a sweet game. I don't know if I maybe missequenced a little bit there. I have to go back and watch that one. That was a sweet game, though. Yeah, generally, I think that we won game 2 because we just kind of had the nuts, and they didn't really have much to say about it. But overall, I think this matchup is pretty unfavorable for Blue-Red because of the Lurrus and the Lurrus thing. And yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of rambling here, so let's get on to some more games. I'll see you back in just a little bit for round number 4. All right, YouTube, round number 4. Let's go. Rejuvenate a little bit there. I had some breakfast and I made some coffee, so we are good to go. This hand's awesome. Keep Punter Vitaloris. Hopefully no more Grixis decks. What am I leading with here? If I end up casting a removal spell on 2, I think it's better for me to go Soul Scar on 1 into Channeler plus removal spell, so I get a Surveil trigger and I get the damage. Hammer time, huh? This matchup is tricky. This matchup is tricky because it's really, really hard for you to ever tap out. You just, like, you aren't allowed to ever tap mana unless you're killing them. It's not a bad setup, though. We have Bolt and Dart. So we'll see what they're up to. They didn't have a 0-mana creature to play on turn 1, which is worth noting. Okay. We got a hammer. Alright, we can untap. Let's just go cast Iteration. Then we can hold up Bolt. If we don't want more lands. Actually, casting Iteration here was kind of dumb, wasn't it? Because I'm not going to cast the spell here. Oh, but I can actually play the Dart. And then just hold up Dart, which is going to be good enough. Okay, so let's go hand, bottom, exile. Play this untapped. Go to attacks. Yeah, this is fine. And we can just hold up Dart. That's also Delirium, which is pretty good. So they take 6 and go to 12. And then we have Dart up if they go for Nexus. We have double Bolt plus Dart next turn. Worst case scenario, they go like 2-mana creature, yeah, plus hammer it. But 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think we should be okay. And they should main phase this, yeah. So it's possible I should have just not cast the Iteration last turn. 3, 6, 9, 10, 11. Oh no, we have enough, right? Yeah, we're good. Actually, let's just make sure, because I don't want to lose Delirium. So attack for 3. Yeah, we're good. 3. Math is hard. Math is hard. Graveyard. Math is hard. Alright, Dart you twice. Okay, not too bad. Game number 2, playing against Hammer Time. Alright, Falster Storm, Spell Pierce, bad. Relic, bad. I think these are all considerations. Borrower, Moon, Abrade, Return, Wildfire. Return's good against Sanctifier if they bring that in. Wildfire and Alpine Moon are both good against Saga, as well as Abrade just being... Abrade's probably our best card. And then these are all like more situational cards that I'm not sure that we want. Growth for Abrade is a pretty easy swap, so we'll start there. And now it's a question of, do we want to maybe trim on Iteration? I've actually considered cutting all the Stormwing entities in this matchup and just not really ever trying to tap out, just always holding up as much interaction as possible. I don't know if that's good, because Stormwing is one of your best ways to beat Sanctifier if you don't bring in Return. But maybe we can, like, shave, and that's where we get to bring in the Alpine Moons, and then just not bother with the K-Returns. It's kind of weird sideboarding like this. Let's try it. Bobble, I guess maybe... You know what I think? I think I just don't cut Bobble enough in post-board games with this deck. I think you could definitely sell me on cutting some number of Bobbles. Because the issue in this matchup is the delay draw is kind of bad. I guess it's like, I don't know. You're still racing, but... Alright, they have a jar. And... I kind of want to save the Soulscar Mage, because I think it's my more important threat. And I kind of want to cycle this... Well... No, because I could just play Soulscar, pass, next turn Swift Spear, cycle Bobble, attack for 4, hold up Bolt. I think this is better? I think. Could be wrong. Prismatic Ending. Okay. 3 cards, huh? Alright, so what I want to do... This is tough. So I could go Swift Spear, Bobble, not pay, Dart the Sentinel. See if they want to regen. Give them a card. And then if they do regen, I can flash back the Lava Dart and then have Bolt up next turn. I do give them a card that way, but I think it's okay. I think giving them a card is fine. And if they regen, I can just sack the Lava Dart. Or sack the Mountain to flash back the Lava Dart. Which I'm totally fine with. Just gonna do it now. Get a Prowess trigger. Bobble them, see what's up. Sanctifier. That is not the card I wanted to see. That is the opposite of the card that I wanted to see. Yeah, it's not good. Alright, I guess we gotta bring in Kozilek's Returns. I wasn't sure if they were gonna bring them in. I mean, I guess it makes sense. Or I could just get lucky and draw a Storming Entity. I'm gonna cycle the Bobble. Make blue, red. Yeah. Not great. Go. You got a Memnite on top. Alright, you got a Memnite. Okay. I got a Shadow Spear. Understandable. Alright, we need a Storming Entity. Not quite. Not quite a Storming Entity. So, hand, bottom, exile, play Canal, play Channeler. Yeah, okay, so hand, bottom, exile, play Canal, play Channeler, pass, next turn, Bolt plus Entity. I hope that that's somehow good enough. I doubt it is. We're trying. We're trying. Okay. Alright, I like this. This is a little better for us. Okay, okay, we can push a lot of damage here. Bolt the Memnite. Get a Surveil. I don't think I want that anymore. Attack for 5. They go to 10. And then we play Entity. Oh, we're even baiting a path? Wow. I mean, kind of surprised they cast that path, but... Bottom, bottom. They have 1 card left. They have another path. No. Not yet, at least. White, white. Paladin, sure. 2 cards in hand. We're at 10. Or they're at 10, excuse me. Not we're at 10. Well, anticlimactic. Alright, 3, they go to 7. Okay, it's a saga. They have a hammer. Yeah, we're dead. Alright, next game. Good beats. I really don't know how I should be sideboarding against them. I think cutting Storming Entity is kind of crazy. Maybe just... Okay, let's try this. I just want to see how this plays out. I'm going to try cutting all the baubles. Because I want to bring in Kozilek's Return for the stupid pro-red creature, and then also Borrower, I think. Yeah, let's try this, I think. Seems really weird to cut Bauble, but I don't know what else to cut, you know? I want to keep all my instant speed interaction, Dart, Bolt, Heat, Abrade, Kozilek's Return / Borrower for the pro-red creature. Iteration is the only other thing I could trim on, but would I rather have Bauble than Iteration on the play? Yeah. Iteration, I think, is a little bit better if I have a pile of interaction, which I do in the post-board games. So, I think post-board Iteration is a little bit better, because you have more interaction. This hand is so slow. This hand is a Channeler and 4 spells that cost 2 mana, 2 of which I can't even cast. Yeah, I can't keep this. Alright, this one's a little bit better, I guess. Put back the second Manamorphose, I think. Alright, Cigar to Zaid. Alright, do we high roll the Manamorphose here and try and spike a Storming Entity? This is tough. I think the answer is probably no. Attack for 1. This also lets me have Bolt up. But maybe the theory is that if I have Abrade in my hand, I kind of want them to go for a hammer if they have it. Because if they just go creature plus hammer, I can Abrade the hammer and that's fine. So maybe tapping out was pretty good. And now I'm just going to untap. And they have a hammer in their hand. So I can't really afford to tap out. Can't imagine they're going to block into Lava Darts. Let's just attack with both. Yeah, I kind of have to pass here, which is really unfortunate. Don't like having to pass here. If I guess I could bolt this and just hope they don't go for it. Yeah, I'm just going to pass. I feel like the fact that I tank that long makes it more likely they'll go for it. Like, if I'm tanking that long, if my hand is Bolt plus Dart, I wouldn't tank that long. I would just bolt the Mystic, attack with both, hold up Dart. It would be super easy. But the fact that I'm tanking that long makes me think that they're probably just not... If I cast the Bolt, they're just 100% going to go for it. Now, obviously, if I leave up both of my mana, they're just going to do nothing, and that kind of sucks, but... Okay. This stinks. Well, I guess we have to hope that they go for it now. We can Abrade the hammer, untap, draw a land, and cast Kozilek's Return. No, but they still just have another hammer in their hand. Oh my god. How do I get out of this? So their hand is 2 hammers and 3 unknowns. If I do anything end of turn, they're just going to hammer me in response. So my options are Bolt Mystic, that's bad, they just hammer. Abrade Ornithopter, they just let it go and then hammer the Mystic. I just can't do anything. This is why I hate playing against Hammer Time. It's just like, it's just nothing I can do. I mean, obviously I got Mana Screw too, but it just like, I feel like I did not have any chance this game. Like no matter what I did, just had no chance. The cards that I drew did not even come close to mattering, and that's what I don't like about this Hammer Time deck. Anyways, here we are. I guess we're just passing. Again, same thing. If I cast Bolt, they're just going to hammer me. I have no good attacks. Alright, pass. And the best part about not doing anything is now I'm just going to lose to Urza Saga. It's like... just nothing I do matters. So they hammer me. So I can blow up a hammer. Okay, realistically, how do I get out of this? They cast hammer. I abrade the hammer. They cast another hammer. I take 11, go to 8. Yeah, that just doesn't even... that doesn't even do it. I just don't think I have a way out of this. Just in the vice grip. You know, I try not to complain a lot, but I mean, this deck is a bit much sometimes. You know, I mean, there are definitely games where this deck has some non-functional draws for sure, but these draws just feel completely unbeatable, no matter what you're doing. Alright, hammer resolves. I guess I'll blow up the hammer. There's nothing I can do. Don't think anything I do matters. We will try. No. Alright, so they play second hammer, we take 11, we go to 7. Yeah, okay, I just don't have any outs. Alright, I've had enough. Yeah, I don't know, we kind of got mana screwed. I think this matchup is supposed to be pretty good for Prowess, and I know that prior to MH2, I was always super excited to play against it from the Prowess side, but I don't know, Urza Saga and Sentinel, there's definitely some new additions that probably skewed the matchup in their favor, just because their deck is so much more consistent. So, you know, maybe prior to MH2, Prowess was a massive favorite, but now that's probably shifted. So, we're 2-2. See if we can get the 3-2. I'll see you back in just a little bit for round number 5. Alrighty, you two back here for the 5th and final round of this league. Let's see if we can complete the 3-2 with Prowess. This deck hasn't felt as good as it once was. Maybe it's fallen off the map a little bit. Let's see, what do we have here? Bauble myself with a fetch land. No turn 1 creature, though. I'm going to mulligan this. This is the same hand minus a bauble. We do have an iteration, though. I think I'm willing to keep this one. I'm actually going to put back Canal so I can keep a mountain for Lava Dart. This hand's not great, but it's passable. Hopefully they give me a target for Lava Dart on turn 1. That would be ideal, because I don't, like... There is a scenario where I go end of turn, Lava Dart them, untap, play Mountain, float mana, sack Mountain, play Entity, but it seems like kind of a spew. Okay, that's good for me. So now I'm just going to fire this off. And I have to think about casting the Entity here. Given that I have enough lands, maybe it's worth it. Yeah, it probably is worth it now that I think about it. I think it's worth it. I mean, I'm probably not going to cast Iteration next turn, but... how about a second Entity? I think what I'll do is top the Entity, top the Bolt. And if for some reason I choose that I change my mind and don't want to draw the Entity, I can just fetch it away. But I don't want to cast Iteration next turn. Okay, well. We have a Bolt. Alright, well I guess drawing the Stormwing is going to be good, because now I can go Bolt plus Stormwing next turn. Hopefully. They have a Liliana. Yeah, that's bad. I guess I was supposed to play the fetch land, so that if they did exactly this, I could just go... Because now what's my plan? Discard Bolt, draw Entity, and then still can't cast it? I guess my plan could be sack Fiery Islet, draw the Entity, discard it, and then hope to find a burn spell below that. Yeah, because I can't even come close to casting the Entity with the Liliana. So I think I have to do it this way. But I probably should have played a fetch land that turn to play around a potential Liliana. Because Liliana means I can't go Bolt plus Entity. Alright, they got one card. Swift Spear would be ideal. Okay. We're still playing. And now we're in a spot where if we ever draw a another iteration, we probably just win the game on the spot. Because that card's just that good. What's this? Abrupt Decay, sure. Alright, we're out of gas. Iteration. Okay, that's... I mean, we get the first top deck, but we're down 2 lands, and we drew a blank, so... Alright, sure. Mutagenic Growth down. Give me an iteration. Okay. Bobbling on their upkeep is worse if I have a Bolt on top to kill the Ravine, but it's better if they draw a discard spell. And I think it's more likely that they have find a discard spell than I have Bolt, because I only have 3 Bolts left, and they likely have, you know, 4 to 5 discard spells left. It didn't matter anyways. Didn't matter anyways. Alright, well, now we're in a bad spot. So we take 5, go to 10. Now we need the draw iteration, or else we have no shot. Okay. How about a Stormwing? How about a Stormwing? Well, that's 5 card types. This thing's going to be a 6/6 next turn, so I guess that works. And now what I'm actually going to do, I'm gonna crack the bauble now in case they find Liliana, so I can discard something that isn't Unholy Heat. Alright, they're drawing an Elf, but they can't Elf and Ravine, so they have to choose. I assume they're just going to cast Elf. Okay, they did hit the Liliana. So I guess they probably Edict me. Hierarch, so we go to 6. Drew a Swift Spear. It's my way out of this. Well, it starts with them drawing a land, for sure. So why don't we do this? Why don't we go Swift Spear, Bauble. We can see what they're drawing. Alright, they are drawing a land. So now I think I should attack... Yeah, attack Liliana. So my one out is they chump block. Oh, they just let it die? Okay, that's good. That's a good start. Okay, alright. We're back in it. They're drawing a land, which means they're probably going to fire up the Ravine, and we get to kill both of their creatures. I think I do want to kill the Elf. We can let them go to attacks. Alright, so heat the Ravine. And then I think I'm going to heat the Elf and not go to 3. Alright, all their stuff's dead. They play a land. Now, how about another expressive iteration? Oh, yes! Are we doing it? Are we doing it is the question. So let's go hand, bottom, exile, and I can cast the Swiss Mirror next turn. There's no way we're doing this, right? There's no way. They'll just draw a spell. This game has been absurd. Oh my god. I thought I had no chance at this game. And now we're definitely ahead. Oh god, did they draw gold against command? Oh no. That's worst possible for me. Oh, they did. Oh no. Oh no, that's bad. Alright, how about another iteration? They're at 8. It's only 6 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do I cast the growth? No, because then I'm dead, right? Question is, do I leave back a Swift Spear? With the hopes that they... like, what could they hit off Elf that's really... that's a quote-unquote brick? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not really sure what I need them to hit. This game is tough. I think I'm going to leave back a Swift Spear. Alright. Because hypothetically, if they quote-unquote miss on Bloodbraid Elf, like I guess Hierarch or maybe a discard spell, then we can go hit a bolt. Okay. Well, we have to protect this, I think. So now, if they attack with Elf, we trade. They have 1 card. They do have 1 fresh draw step. Obviously don't have a choice, I have to trade. Now do we just sit back? I mean, I can't really beat much anyways. I think I have to attack. I don't think there's many spells I can beat that they draw. Kind of need them to draw like another 4 lands in a row or something. Yeah. That Cole against command was kind of rough. Clothis. Oh, okay. Well, they didn't brick. I mean, it was really that one. It was that one swing, right, where they drew Kolaghan's Command and we drew Mutagenic Growth, and then the game was basically just over at that point. All right, pretty sweet game though, nonetheless. Going to sideboard against Jun. Relic, really good. Alpine Moon, Abrade, no. Wildfire, Return, no. Flusterstorm, Pierce, no. Borrower, probably. And I think I'm just going to shave some Lava Darts. All right, let's go. Game number 2. You know, even though I lost that game was a lot of fun. There was a lot of back and forth that game. See, it's games like that, you know? Like the match against Hammer Time, there was no back and forth. I got obliterated. None of my decisions mattered. That game was sweet, you know? A lot of my decisions mattered. We went to like this insane top deck war, and that was just a lot of fun. You know, those are like the games that I lose that I look at that and I'm just like, yeah, I lost, but I had fun. It was a good time. Can't be mad. Game number 2, we're on the play. No creatures, huh? Mulliganing against Jun is also really bad. That being said, I think I'm going to keep this. I think this is definitely a matchup quantity over quality. I mean, it sucks to just not keep a hand with a one drop, but you got some Manamorphosis to find some stuff. I think it's okay. Alright, they do nothing. We could also just choose to do nothing. Because the thing is, even if I Metamorphose into Entity, I don't really want to play it into Bolt. So I think I'm just going to pass. Well, No, that's dumb. I changed my mind. Because we can still just hit a 1-drop. Well, drawing another land's not going to help. Okay, alright. Well, I guess it just was not meant to be, huh? We've had some rough draws this league, I think. I don't know if it's necessarily the deck or maybe the pilot. So we have had some rough draws. This was a 3-lander, right? Yeah. So 3-lander first 3 draw steps were all lands. Good beats. Tarmogoyf, Ren and 6. Okay. Draw the bauble after I already used my fetch land. Sounds about right. It's a lava dart. I guess I can kill the Ren and 6 on their upkeep. So let's do that. Draw the dart. I'm only down, 4 cards or whatever in the exchange. It's fine. Totally fine. Totally fine. We got this. We're good. We got this. Tarmogoyf. Alright, I need to find a sorcery. Iteration. No, that doesn't do it. Well, it kind of does, because I can pop the relic and then shoot the Goyf. What I could do actually is go... Yeah, so why don't we go relic, dart the Goyf, and then pop the relic. Yeah, this works. Because even if they sack the land in response, it'll still die, because it has a damage on it. Because their land will get exiled. And let's just do this and pass. Now that does shut off Unholy Heat, but the problem is, like, we don't have a 4th type for the heat, and I don't think I can afford to wait on killing the Goyf. So, yeah, I mean, there is some tension there with heat and relic. For sure. Let's just pop this now, try and find some action. Alright, we found a Soulscar Mage. Is that good enough? I don't know. We'll see. Probably not. They have 6 cards in their hand. They're fetching a basic. Endurance. Sure. Endurance is fine. I'll declare no blocks. I'm not going to try and fight over it in combat. So likely that they have, like, decay or anything like that. 5 mana. Oh. Well, that's bad. That's really bad. Alright, I gotta save it. We can bolt the Fury. Alright, we need some gas here. We need some gas. It's kind of gas, I guess. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, put them to 8. No, that's kind of greedy. Just 2. Just 2. Alright, we'll take 3, go to 11. They have another Fury. Okay. So we're on instant land right now. Iteration. Okay. Iteration is a start. That is what we needed to potentially get out of this. I don't know if it's going to be enough, but... So... This is... Instant land sorcery. So, what I think I want to do is put the Brazen Borrower in my hand, bottom the Swift Spear, exile the entity, and then just cast entity, and then hope to kind of do a bunch of stuff next turn. I think that makes the most sense to me. Because we can't, we don't have a fourth type here, right? The nice thing about this play is if they now kill a creature, like if they go end step kill one of my creatures, that's the fourth type for heat. So then I can go heat this, attack here, like attack here, they block, I heat this kind of thing. But because I assume they have a removal spell here, right? Return. What did they return? Return to creature. Oh, Fury. Yeah, that's bad. Well. So we have Heat for Goyf, Bolt for Fury. I guess I just discard this, right? They Fury my entity. Attack with both. I take it, untap, heat the Goyf, bolt the Fury, and then hope to find an answer to deal with this. I think I have to keep the heat and the bolt, though, because that sort of gets me to a point where I may be stabilizing. Well, that's dead. Take 7, go to 4. Then I guess we can take 3 off the Endurance next turn and go to 1. So this is 4, 8, 9, 10. God, we're so close. So close. I mean, I guess that kind of deals with their board because they can make this into an 0-1. So I guess I will just kill all of their stuff. Alright, heat the Goyf. Well, the Endurance. So they take 4, go to 8. And they have an 0-1. And they have 2 cards. We have none. We need to draw one of those expressive iteration cards. They might be out of gas. They might be out of gas. I don't think I can play around a second Endurance. Alright, your turn. What you got? Wow. They didn't cast it in combat. Huh. Interesting. Kind of surprised they just didn't go to eat my creature. Okay. Well, we thought they were out of gas. They were not out of gas. 2 and 3. Bit of an unfortunate record. Let's go back to the deck list here. Yeah, I don't know. I think we played against some bad matchups. Jund, I think, is a horrible matchup. Grixis, horrible matchup. And Hammer Time, I think, is close, but you're probably a dog to Hammer Time. Yeah, I don't know. I just think that maybe this isn't the best way to go about playing Blue-Red. I don't really see the merit of playing this deck over something like Blue-Red Murktide that just has more versatile answers like Counterspell, bigger threats like Murktide Regent. So, I don't know. I think Prowess is just fundamentally not in the best spot right now, and I think that league was kind of a good showcase of that. So if you've made it all the way to the end of the video, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one.